All right, everybody, day 2 here at Blade Show 2022 with Mike from NiVes.
Yes, Mike. It's actually NiVes, but everyone else does actually call it NiVes. Yeah, Mike Vellecamp here. Going to run you guys through a couple of new products that we have. This one that I'm going to show you first is actually in its prototype stage, so they're not in production yet. Somebody did post a video yesterday, and everyone said, "Where can I get one?" I went online. I didn't find them on their website, but this is usually at the shows. We'll come with a prototype. We'll get feedback from the consumer, and we'll go back and we'll make necessary changes to make sure that the product comes out the way that the customer's going to want it. So this is kind of cool. This is called Carnivore, and this is actually kind of a personal passion of mine. I modeled this after the iPhone X. So you'll see this will actually go in my case here.
That is sick.
This is no bigger than an iPhone. Actually, it's smaller than an iPhone. And you guys are you guys are getting a sneak peek. These are going to go into production soon. This is what I call Carnivore Personal Dining Set, okay? So this will slip right in your pocket. It's super comfortable, smaller than a phone. When you lift these little tabs here to take the top piece off, this little case, what you're gonna see is you have this little dining set here. Now, for me, when I go to a steakhouse, the last thing I want to do is use a Chinese bone saw to cut through a $30 piece of meat, right?
Yeah.
What I really want, I'm doing an interview here. What I really want to have is a scalpel, right? A scalpel. A surgeon will tell you that's the best thing to cut meat with. So you'll, just like the guys, when you go to the pool house, the guys that play pool better than you, they have their own stick, right? So they don't use a stick on the wall, just like the same way I don't want to use the Chinese bone saw they give you at the restaurant. So you put your knife together. You put your fork together. Okay, screw that on. And once this is complete, it ain't over yet, folks. Check this out. You're going to take your ceramic rods out. Of course, these aren't ceramic because it's a prototype, but they will be ceramic, and probably a little longer too. You take your ceramic rods out. Now you're going to set this guy in there. You're going to cover up your hand so that you don't cut it while you're sharpening your steak knife at the table. So that's the personal dining set Carnivore.
Oh man, that is so cool.
Yeah,
that is
like
so
that?
Cool.
Yeah. This is just something I've wanted to do for myself for a long time because I always take my own knife when I go to a steakhouse. I never use what they give me. I've always got a pocket knife in it, but it looks kind of barbaric. I'm like, all right, honey, here comes the steak, and I'm like, well, okay, that just seems too barbaric. Let's just make something really cool, really classy looking, small, compact, and easy to carry. And I think our target price for this is $99.95. So we give you that 5 cents off of $100. So yeah, so that's the Carnivore Personal Dining Set. We have another knife over here. There you go. Sorry about that. We have another knife over here that's new for this year. And this is our fillet knife. This is called the Pacific Northwest Angler, right? We'll have several attachment options. So we have a little molly clip and a belt clip and several little options. You could actually attach this to the boat. You just leave it there, and then someone that does a lot of fishing. We also made a sharpener right here. So when you're working all day long, you can just sharpen up the knife and you get back to work. Sharpen up the knife, get back to work. There's no sense in a lot of fishermen just set it aside and go grab another knife when they get dull. This one you can actually sharpen it right there. This will float. This will float in the water. If it drops over the boat, you're going to see it bobbing up and down. You're going to see that little red guy right there, just bobbing up and down in the water. You can grab it. These are 2.7 ounces. Yeah, hold that. I know you got to hold the microphone, but hold that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect for the outdoorsman.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. No wrist fatigue there. But so yeah, we're pretty excited about this one. This will be $79.95. These are in production right now. You cannot purchase one off the website today, but you will be able to very soon, probably, I want to say within 2 months.
Right.
So they're being made right now, and these are made in Taiwan. So, all right, there's enough about that, and I don't want to take too much of you guys' time, but we will talk about the crab. Okay, most people know that most of our knives come in these waterproof containers. They're super robust, injection molded. They got a gasket that seals them all the way around. They got a steel lanyard over here so you can hang it from stuff, strap it to stuff. And it's really cool because once you buy our product, any knife or whatever you happen to get multi-tool, you take the foam out of it and you set up the knife, and this comes with an extra little pocket knife called the Hermit Crab. But you take this stuff out of it, you dig the foam out of it, and then you can use this for your smartphone, your wallet, whatever. If you're going kayaking, if you're in the outdoors, you want to keep certain things away from the elements, snow, rain, mud, sand, whatever, and you can keep all your valuables in there. I actually use it when I go kayaking. I have a shaving kit that I made out of one of these. But anyway, this is the kit. This is how it comes, and this is called the Crab. Excuse me. The Crab stands for Cut, Rescue, Assist, and Break, and this is the way that it looks in the sheath. And you can wear this sheath on your belt, like so, okay? And you can draw it like so. I actually designed this as a tactical defense tool that's TSA approved, by the way, that has a nice little claw on it, right? But it really is effectively a pair of scissors. That is why it's TSA approved. It's a 1-inch scissor, right? You flick this little button here, and you get to put it in a kind of a traditional scissor type mode, and then you can just push down with your thumb like so, cut like that. Okay, if you close the scissor, also, let me show you, you don't have to carry it in the sheath. You can wear it as a carabiner option. Take the unsharpened portion of the scissor through the loop, see that one cut, goes right through there, lock it in, boom, go get on the plane, right? You can put that on your laptop bag strap, you put it on your backpack, whatever, okay? Undo that, oh man, you're ready to go, right? Okay, so also, you close this. Now, I will tell you, you have to take the glass breaker out to get it on the airplane. You're gonna wanna put that in your checked baggage, right? But anyway, it does have a glass breaker. You use this as a seatbelt cutter as well. But with this closed, the glass breaker out, and you can store the glass breaker in this little area here where the bit drivers go. It's magnetic, it'll store right there. You put your bit driver in there. These are standard 1/4-inch hardware bits. You can buy these at Lowe's, Home Depot, True Value, Ace Hardware, wherever you find your hardware accessories. You can buy these 1/4-inch bits, and you can set this up however you want to carry it for your own personal lifestyle, right? So we have 4 bits. We give you a large and a small flathead. We give you a large and a small Phillips, right? And then for those save and serve, EMS guys, fire, that kind of thing, you have an oxygen bottle wrench. You even also have a side drive for your 1/4-inch bit tools. And then you got a bottle opener. And whoa there, buddy. If you'll notice, if you put this in the sheath, when you carry it like that, the bottle opener sticks out the bottom, so you can actually pop bottles right there. What do you think?
That is so cool,
Like
man.
it?
That is
Right on.
super innovative. Where can
Right
people
on.
find you online?
www.vknives.com, at Knife Life on Facebook, and at Knife Life on Instagram. That's NIFELIFE.
Right on. Thank you for your time.
Right on, man. Thanks, guys. Thanks for stopping
Be
by.
sure to check them out, V-Knives.
Yeah, right on.
All right, everybody, here we are at Blade Show 2022 with Scorpion 6 Knives.
How's it going?
It's good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. So Scorpion 6 Knives, for a little backstory of those that don't know, 6 years ago, we had to get a GoFundMe account just to afford to get here, and I had a prototype and a clipboard, and I just walked around and got a list of who'd be interested in buying this. And then we bolted equipment to our kitchen table in our apartment, and that's where we started making primarily fixed blades. And we had one folder design that we launched with. The following year we had a table, and then after that we moved into a booth just right over there, and now we're in a double booth. It's just my wife and I. It's my wife Katie over there, and we do everything by hand. So we get our parts water jet cut right in Chandler, Arizona, and then after water jet cutting it comes to us. We do everything without CNC. It's all by hand. So we have just hand mills, like no automation whatsoever. The only thing we outsource is DLC coating anytime we need to coat stuff black. And maybe we'll do like Cerakote on a fixed blade or something like that. But
right on.
so everything else is done in-house. The blades are hand ground. We do our heat treat in-house. Like That's everything. So that's a 1 minute spiel on our background. When it comes to our knives, I was in the military, and I have background in aviation and automotive racing. So other than just the tactical aspect of everything, we always wanted to be lightweight but strong. Mm-hmm. Like airplane wings are hollow, telephone poles are hollow, but they're still extremely strong. So the idea was, how can we make a big, oversized folder, but not make it pull your shorts off when you're wearing it, still be able to carry it and use it. So a lot of our designs have these large windows in the blade, like you see here. It also assists in opening it and closing it, but it also allows for a knife that's almost an inch thick, just under an inch thick.
Beefy but light.
It's still really light. Still really usable, and it's not going to hinder the strength of the blade because of how thick it is. Mm-hmm. I mean, unless you're going to like hammer this into bricks and try and stand on it or something insane. So you'll see that similarity in a lot of our knives. Like my everyday carry has that same window styling as well, and that's kind of what got us on the map. It's just being, if you were to look at a table of 100 knives, how could you tell which one's a Scorpion 6? They're the ones with the giant windows and more futuristic kind of racing designs.
Super cool looking.
So, so that's how we came to be in a nutshell. We attended a knife fighting course by Marshall Blades Defense. It's actually Michael Janet's. He designs the Yojimbo for Spyderco. It's his course. And when I was there, they do this pork man, where they get a broom handle, they wrap it in pork, they wrap it in saran wrap, and then they put jeans over it to simulate a human leg. And then they get different blade shapes, and they cut into that pork man. And I noticed that all the drop points were bleeding off of it. The tontos they'd still cut, but not deep enough. But the Wharncliffe design would go to the bone every time with the least amount of effort. So if you did need to defend yourself, the Wharncliffe is the best blade. It's the best one. So we started to transition to a lot of Wharncliffes after that course. We still do the other ones just for utility, but a lot of our designs have straight edges to be more effective. They also still open Amazon boxes just as fine too. So for this blade show, we brought some new models. This one's called the Stigning. All of our knives have, well, most of them have Norwegian names because I'm first generation from Norway and England.
Oh wow.
And it's all, I think one of the hardest things about knife making is finding a name that no one else has used, because Talon, Viper, they're all taken. So it's Norwegian. That way we don't have to worry about it. The Stigning, something cool about this one, it's the first one that we're doing that's on washers. So it's phosphor bronze washers. That's not usually our MO. We like cage bearings. But we had a lot of requests for a heavy use folder that can be buried in the sand and get really dirty. So this is our first one that we've offered on washers. Has a bent clip, titanium frame, titanium clip, titanium hardware standard on all of our knives. And this is a Nitro B blade, and that has our low key finish. And that's just the natural heat coloring that happens after heat treat. And it's one of our most popular finishes as well. The next one is the LR1. My wife likes to carry our knives, but a lot of times they're too big. And if you've ever looked at women's jeans, their pockets are a joke.
Tiny.
Super tiny. Or leggings and things that you just can't carry a full-size knife. So I went through and measured most of her jean pockets, and this is the standard depth of a female jean pocket. Put a light titanium bent clip on it, so it slides into place. It has two opening functions. You can either use the flipper tab, or you can use the thumb stud. A lot of women don't like to scratch their nails, so the thumb stud's not preferred, which is why it has that flipper tab on there. And then it has a really aggressive hawkbill, chisel ground, double hollow. So extremely, if you do need to use it, it's going to be highly effective. But it's still light enough that if you wanted to take it jogging for a hike or anything, you could have that application if you need it.
Husband of the year for that one,
Yeah.
man.
Well, then I end up falling in love with it too, so I carry one too. We have two different volley song models that we released at Blade Show this year as well. This particular one is called the B1, but we named this one the Babysitter We had a few earlier, but we already sold out of them. We didn't sharpen this one, so that's why it's called the babysitter. Usually they're sculpted, but we went to the Texas Blade Show, and a lot of people, we had 5 people get their fingers cut trying to flip them around. So now we make an unsharpened one. If you want to check them out, we just hand you the dull one. But this is the B1B, the B1 Bali song. And then this is the B2B. I don't know anything about Bali songs. I don't know how to, I can open it, close it, and that's the maximum of my abilities. Like, that's all I could do. But I've never done press stop pins on a knife before. And I was figuring if I could learn how to do or perfect how to do stop pins, which is hard to do without CNC, I'd be able to use that application in our future folding designs. So it's like, well, shoot, I'll make a Bali song because they need 2. And if I can do it twice and fit it in this tiny little radius without cracking the steel, I think I could probably move it over to a folder and it'd build my confidence up. Something I never liked about Bali songs is they didn't have ergonomics when you're actually using it. It's great for flipping to have straight, but when you're using it, it felt weird in the hand.
Just blocky.
Yeah, real chunky. So I made one with ergos, and this was kind of selfish and just for me, and I made one. And then I showed it to a couple Bali song buddies of mine, and they were weighing it, putting it on, balances and stuff, and they're like, this is actually like really nice. And it's on ceramic Delrin bearings, titanium hardware, titanium frame, Nitro V steel. So I went and made a full size based on the more standard length that you'd find a Bali song. This is more I actually took the measurements of like the original Benchmades. That's as long as the original Benchmade. The biggest difference with ours is it's overbuilt, extremely thick. Not the best for flipping and twirling just because the handle size is so big. But it's had a really good traction at this show. A lot of people have enjoyed it. I want harsh criticism on it because I really want to know what people think. And the only thing I've heard is it's just a little too thick. It'd be better if it was thinner. But other than that, they've been really good. And then you guys will be the first to see this. We've been teasing on Instagram for months that we're releasing a new model called the Thestral. So I'll start with this one. This is the Seeker. It's one of our most popular knives, and that's the one I carry all the time. But it averages around $1,200, $1,150 to $1,200. It's also overbuilt, so it's thicker. 160 thick slabs on the side, 160 blade, Nitro V, and then a 160 clip too. So it's a bigger knife to carry. And it's also expensive. So for the first time ever, there's the Thestral. It has a drop point blade instead of the Tonto. A little more slender in the back, dropping that screw. It's thinner overall, so it fits better in the pocket, great for everyday carry. And it has a bent clip instead of a machine clip.
I really like the slim profile.
It just rides better all around. Like, these are great and they're fun, but like in Arizona, you guys get it, 110 degrees, you're wearing board shorts. Last thing you need is this brick, in your pocket. The benefit, though, is this one is going to be just a little over half of the price as this one.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to be offering this around $800 to $850, but it's still 100% made by hand. It's still made in USA. It's U.S. materials. So, like, you have a handmade U.S. custom knife for $750, $800. So somewhere in the, depending on finishes and things like that. It's still all titanium hardware. It's still titanium frame. So, like, you don't have to go to G10 or anything like that. And it's just us trying to be a little more competitive.
Right on.
So we don't get the volume because it is just the 2 of us. So it's hard for us to make as many knives as other companies. But we still want to remain competitive so everyone can have one.
Right on.
So that's
Well,
where we're at.
Where can people find Scorpion 6 online?
Our Instagram, Scorpion 6 Knives, is the largest traction, and that's where we post the most pictures. That's where we do the most updates. www.scorpion6knives.com is our website. It has the links for everything. We're on all the social medias. We have a TikTok for some reason, but it's there. We have it, and I still post there when it's not blocked and taken off for guidelines. We have a Twitter, Facebook. We're on all of those.
Right on. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love the work. Be sure to check them out, everybody.
Thank you.
Blade Show 2022. All right, everybody, here we are at Blade Show 2022 with Southern Grind Knives, here with Jimmy.
Hey man, how's it going? I'm Jimmy, Southern Grind Knives.
Nice to meet you.
Nice that you guys stopped by. How's it going?
It's good, man.
Show going good?
Oh, lovely.
Good.
So here we have Jimmy, and he's going to highlight some of the new things they have this year and talk about the company and stuff like that.
So for Blade Show 2022, we're releasing our Arachnid. It is a 3 1/4 inch S35 VN OTF knife. This is our first jump into the OTF world. Kind of wanted to make a statement this year going into the OTFs. S35 blade steel, 70-75 on the handles, titanium, billet pocket clip, you know.
Right on, snazzy looking, classy blade, man.
All the premium features. MSRP is going to be about $399 on it.
Not bad, not bad.
And we also have a bunch of other, this is some of the other stuff that we brought to the show for specials.
Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, my favorite is actually sold out. We had an abalone shell, a real abalone shell that we were selling for $200 on the Spider Monkeys.
Oh, wow, right
yeah,
on, man.
and they're gone. They didn't last very long at all. So.
I bet.
But yeah, all of them are great. The Spider Monkey is our best seller by far. The classic, you know, carbon fiber Spider Monkey, 6AL 4V titanium liners, S35 VN blade steel. They're $200 for the any of the G10, $225 for the carbon fiber, and I think they're even $200 for the copper. That's a really nice kind of showpiece. Yeah.
Good looking knife, man.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so where can people find you guys online, Instagram?
Yep, southerngrind.com. Our Instagram's same, just search us up, Southern Grind, Facebook, Instagram, everywhere like that.
Sounds good, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, guys.
Glad to be here.
Right on, thank you, man. So, showcase some knives for us, man.
Okay. If you're familiar with our company, we're made in the USA, 100% unlimited lifetime warranty. So if it says Esee on it and you break it, follow our procedure for warranty knives on our website, and we'll replace it. So newer stuff, we got the 3D contour G10 scales on several of the, it's an older design, but we're offering it with newer scales, different colors, different color combinations. Coming out, Sencut fixed blades, been out for a little bit, S35 VM, very good edge retention, a whole lot more in saltwater environments, it's not going to rust as bad. Got the old standard AGK with the flat scales. We'll be releasing that with 3D contoured scales and S35 VM. Then we got all of our older line, some of them available with the 3D contoured scales. And
so like this Sencut right here, what would the best use for this knife be?
Lightweight backpacking, camping, just an everyday carry. Top knife will be great. So, you know, it's not heavy at all. Slim profile. Some people even wear it as a neck knife.
It's a perfect knife for the outdoors, man. Everyday carry kind of person.
Yeah, well, you don't really need a big chopper or anything. You know, the good utilitarian size. Everyday task, opening food, you know, making fires, whatever.
All right on, man. Thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate it.
What's up, everybody? Here we are, Blade Show 2022 at Sencut Knives with Chris. What's up, Chris?
How we doing?
I'm good, man. Tell us about Sencut.
Well, we've been around for about a year now. For those who might know us, we're actually directly affiliated with WeKnife. We're the third line released under the WeKnife brand. So for those familiar with We and Civivi, we're Sencut. You're gonna see us here in the future, really growing. A lot of similarities between blade handle composition that you might be familiar with on the other end of Civivi, but at a price point that's much lower. We're a direct-to-consumer line knife, no dealing in between, so we're able to keep that price point a little bit lower for the everyday user just is going through them and just really wants to boost the collection or have a different one every day.
Yeah, you know? Right on, man. And do you have any favorites you want to spotlight?
You know, we got a couple new models here. I'll grab a couple. These are some of the new styles that are coming out, okay? This is the Wataga. And this is nice. It's got the simple back flip. It's a nice micarta with a D2 handle. It's got the back flip, also has the button detent. So a little something there for everybody. That's been a very popular knife this year. Same thing, another variant of that, the Waxahachie. It's going to be a similar design, just in the fixed blade. Skeleton handled, hollowed out, nice sheath accompanying with it. And that'll just click right into place, come right back out. You can see that there. That's been another pretty popular new release here for us. And on another one, some of them are familiar with the Civivi Elementum. This is kind of a similar style blade, a nice little small minimalistic everyday carry knife. Nice liner lock with the green micarta. Very nice, very strong, durable.
Super smooth actions on these
Very
knives.
nice
It's
action.
crazy.
It's
Smooth as butter.
It is butter. So you're gonna start seeing the name spread out online a little bit. Promotion-wise, we've been getting a lot of people doing reviews, a lot of online sponsored. I guess just reviews really. So you'll see the name grow here throughout the next couple years, but we're happy to be out here at the Blade Show. You can find us Sencut Knives on Instagram, as well as Sencut.com. Knives also are exclusively sold on Amazon, so you can find us just about anywhere.
All right, we are continuing our coverage of Blade Show 2022. We are here with Jim, CEO of Giant Mouse. Jim, how are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Jim, give us a rundown of who Giant Mouse is, how long you guys have been around, and what new product you guys have coming out.
Okay, so Giant Mouse started the idea for it late 2015. Jesper Voxnes, who's here in the booth with me, and Jens Anso are Danish designers, Danish knife makers. They've been designing and making knives and licensing their designs to big knife brands for many years, 20 odd years now. We became friends. I was collecting knives at the time and met him at a knife show. We would start going to dinner together and going to bar, having some drinks, and we over drinks one night at a bar called the Biblio in Brooklyn that a friend of ours owned. We decided we'd start a new knife brand and have the two of them collaborate together on the designs. They'd only done one folding knife collaboration in the past. It was with Spyderco. They did a little knife called the Pingo that was just a great little, sold really well, and but it's been discontinued now for a while with Spyderco. So we said, hey, let's get you guys collaborating again and work together on designs. We'll start a business. And they were kind of like, yeah, we're creative guys, we're knife makers, we're designers, we don't really have time to run a business. I said, I got nothing but time, and I've done it before because I had a company I started with a couple guys long ago, and we grew that. It was completely unrelated to the knife industry. It was a technology consulting firm. But I said, look, I've started a company before and run a company, and I have time because I was kind of retired. And so I said, let's just do it. And so we launched Giant Mouse with the idea of doing 2 or 3 designs a year, limited editions. We'd do 400 units of each and then discontinue them. And it was going to be real easy. We'd set up a website. We'd just sell them all through our website to the customers. And then we pretty quickly became the company that everybody was complaining you couldn't ever buy a knife from because nothing was ever available. We were always sold out, right? So we agreed that we had something here. It was becoming kind of a better known brand that had a following now. So we came up with the Ace line of unlimited designs. So a lot of our Giant Mouse line knives end up turning into Ace line knives. So we'll go from like full titanium with special finishes or milled surfaces, titanium milled clips, titanium pivot collars, all of the kind of the high-end stuff that's on our Giant Mouse line. If we turn one of those into an Ace line knife, we'll do a wire clip. We'll do like canvas micarta, so we can get the cost way down and have them just be available all the time or as quickly as we can restock them. But it's been fantastic working with 2 kind of world-renowned designers that are real well-known in the industry. I think that's what's helped, really push the brand, into sort of public acceptance, and the demand's just been growing ever since. So coming out with a lot of new models this year. We're excited to have you guys, on board as a dealer. So, we're looking forward to what's to come.
Yeah, and in the shop, we really do love the Giant Mouse design and the way they feel and how well built they look and feel, and the subtle details of just that goldish bronze backspacer just makes that knife look really good. So that being said, what is new for this year?
Well, brand new that we just released this week is the Nazca. and I've got actually in my pocket my green canvas. So it's basically a cross-lock folder with interesting lines. It's the kind of a departure for the design team to do something this foreign or this alien to what they normally do. The working title of this knife was the Alien, was we were working on it. They were working on it for probably a year and a half. Continuing to pass the design back and forth, and as they worked it, and we always just referred to it as the Alien. And we'd say on our Zoom calls, because I'm in the U.S., they're in Denmark, we have Zoom calls once a week. Where are we on the Alien? And so we came time to start producing it, and we was like, okay, what are we going to call this knife? We can't call it the Alien. There's other knives out there called the Alien. So I started thinking about the lines. The designers always talk about how important the lines are, and it's all about the lines on a knife that give it, just an aesthetic appeal, the look of it. So I was just kind of in my head, the lines was jumping around and the Alien was jumping around, so I came up with Nazca. In Peru, those the big drawings in the desert that are like supposedly ancient aliens, So I'm like, hey, let's call this thing the Nazca. And did a quick search, nothing out there called the Nazca, so I was like, we all agreed that's perfect. Let's just name it the Nazca. And we love it. We think it's gonna be a great new model for us. We have a lot of other new things coming. I can show the where the other ones went. We're gonna release this little guy hopefully in another month or two. This is going to be called the Nibbler. We like to sometimes play on the mouse theme, so mouse nibbles on cheese. This is the Nibbler. It's just the smallest knife we've done. I'll see if I can actually, this one's got a little bit of a stronger D10. I'll see if I can give you a Spidey flick on this. So it's just a great little, almost a fidget knife in a way, but a really strong workhorse, with a great 2-finger grip. It's going to tackle any cutting needs you really need to use for it, except you don't want to take it, boar hunting and try to gut a deer or a boar or something with it. But for putting it in your glove box or your tackle box, or my wife uses one of the samples all week long, all day. She's constantly using hers. We're going to do these three aluminum versions in these 3 colors, and then we're going to have a green canvas micarta and a titanium.
That's awesome. These are really cool little knives. We were playing with them yesterday, and I was very impressed on how they feel and the look, and it's everything you expect out of Giant Mouse.
It's a little gimmick,
yeah.
Right? But no, this thing is a really fit and finish is impeccable on these things, and it's just a really fun little. It's a backup knife,
Right.
You carry your regular folder, but sometimes you always want to just have a backup with you, if you got to cut something.
Oh yeah. And then just the colors alone, that's what really stands out to me, that you guys went with this very bright green, the red, the blue. I mean, great color choices across the board. And you said green micarta and titanium.
Yeah,
That's going to be really cool.
So we want to keep the price down on these aluminum versions. So we went with N690 steel on these. So these are going to be priced at the pretty sure we can commit to, but we're gonna shoot for $95 on these. We want to try to be under $100 on these. The green micarta and the titanium are going to be 20 CV, so they'll be at a higher price point. We haven't solved that yet, but we do know that the goal was to come up with a fun little knife that would be under $100, but made in super high quality with good materials.
And that's awesome. It's a very well-built knife. It's perfectly sized. So when will dealers be seeing both of these?
The Nazcas, we're getting the final batch in. They're in transit now, so we should be able to start getting these out to dealers this coming week, later in the week, is my guess. But certainly within the next couple of weeks, we'll be getting these out to the dealers. These are in production, so I'm hoping sometime in July we'll be able to get these, start shipping these.
And where can people find more information about Giant Mouse?
They can go to giantmouse.com We've got all of our information there. We also have an app now. So if you go to your Google Play Store or your Apple store, whatever the App Store on Apple for iOS, you can get the Giant Mouse app. We just got the app up recently. We do push notifications on special notices, and we're going to be doing some real special exclusive app-only things over time. So you can go either place for all the information about us. And we've got a newsletter sign up on both. So if you want to get a newsletter, we do a lot of customer spotlights are fun to do. We've got customers take great photos of our knives. So we contact them and ask them if they'd like to do a quick interview with us for a customer spotlight. And then our marketing manager, Bridget, who's back here, she writes up a nice customer spotlight newsletter with their photos, and we send those out. Try to get at least once a month on those. But then anytime we're doing a new announcement of a new product, we are sure to get it on our Instagram account, our Facebook account, and our newsletter. So it's not too hard to find us these days.
No, that's awesome. Jim, thank you for the time. Again, thank you guys for watching this Blade Show 2022. Jim from Giant Mouse, thank you again. We really do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
So we are here at Blade Show 2022 with Lucas Burnley, the man himself. Lucas, people know you for your custom knife designs, but where else may people, find your designs?
I mean, really, I'm kind of all over the place. I've been in the industry since I was 19 years old. I designed for 2 companies, and I've done that for about a decade. Boker out of Germany and CRKT up in Tualatin, Oregon.
And for those who don't know some of your bigger name designs, what do you got?
All right, so if we go Boker, it would be like the Kwaiken is a really, really common one that if you like knives, like you probably crossed paths with it at some point. And CRKT be like, the Squid or the Obaki. Obaki was the first knife I ever did with them. It's kind of a cord wrap, like self-defense knife. Super fun, easy to carry. Yeah, I design in different ways. Some of it's kind of weird. Like I used to do a lot of tactical knives, right? So when I was making custom knives and I got into the industry, like tactical was my whole drive. And I would do these things that I called aerials. So basically I do like bird's eye view and then like zoom in. And as I'm zooming in, I'm like imagining like a battlefield, or I'm like, okay, is it a city? Is it like mountain? And like as I'm zooming in, I'm like getting down to the point where I'm like looking at one person with their gear and then their knife, and I'm like building a concept around that, right? Kind of fun, kind of weird, but super fun. And then like a lot of it is function driven. So one of the beautiful things about knives is that form and function like truly work in unison. Like one doesn't have to come at the cost of the other. So at this point, usually I'm trying to hit, a size range, or like production design is different than custom design, because custom I can make any weird thing that I want to make, and I'm going to have a customer for it. Production, I have to be able to design a knife that's going to sit, on a end cap at Sportsman's Warehouse, and someone's going to have to be able to see that and make a decision in 30 seconds. So it's like universal design is what I like to think of it as.
So when it comes down to it, what do you prefer? Doing a custom design, being super creative, or making something that's more utilitarian?
I mean, they're the same.
Right.
It's just you have a different input and a different process, right? The custom work really, like, I enjoy it because I get to do full kind of creative license. The relationship that I have with the companies is really nice because I essentially still have that. Like if I threw out something really wild, there's a good chance they would make it. As a designer, I look at it as part of my obligation to be able to design within a company structure. So when I design for CRKT, like I'm designing for CRKT, and the same for Boker. I'm designing within their capabilities. We were talking about this a little bit at lunch. Like the knife industry is really like a passion-driven industry. So I also want to make knives that like are fun and that the companies that are making them enjoy making and like can connect with. So
I totally get that.
Yeah.
It's kind of, like you said, it's very passion-driven.
Fully.
You see that a lot in the custom work with the blade material and the handle materials and the shape and design. If you were to make super crazy knife.
Sure.
Any material, fictional or real,
Okay.
what would you make?
You like on the spot, like in the shop today?
Yeah.
Where would I go? Man, it's in my head because I just saw it. So Jason Knight is a bladesmith who's here at the show. He made it's like a short, like two-handed spear,
I saw that.
right? That's probably my favorite thing I've seen at the show. And it's like, it's just so, it's not that it's like crazy functional in today's, society, but when you look at it, it just ticks all the marks for me. Like, it's super aggressive. It's like light and fast and sexy. So yeah, I might go home and do something similar. I don't know. Jason, thanks for the inspiration.
Okay, what you brought up inspiration.
Yeah.
What inspires you? Like, what's your driving motivation?
Man, honestly, I'm all over the place. Knives for me, like it almost feels like I don't even really know how to phrase it. It's so intrinsic, I guess, to my life. Like I've done it. I was interested in knives as a kid, and I've done it as a career my entire adult life. So I guess it's like knives are my native language, right? I guess, man, you're gonna have to chop it because I lost my train of thought.
Yeah, you're good.
What was the question?
Inspiration.
All right. So let's see, where can I go with that? So inspiration. So ultimately, I'm pretty environmentally inspired. So like we moved to Cape Cod, lived there for 3 years. While I was there, I was exposed to all this design language that I had never seen. Like I'd never lived in like a maritime society. So I designed this knife called the Tuna. And basically it was it was different lines. I was seeing all these like, fishing boats and like, fish and just kind of being exposed to it. So I did this real like kind of moving forward, like front end heavy pocket knife design. That one's with CRKT. It's been received really well. So yeah, the Tuna. It's like, I don't know if I would have designed it that way had I not been living near the ocean.
Yeah, that's cool. We talked about your passion. We talked about designs,
Yeah.
how it comes to fruition. If you were to go up, if you were to say that somebody inspired you as a bladesmith growing
Sure,
up, or
yeah.
as a person, who's that bladesmith that kind of inspired you to be?
There's a lot. We talked about this a little bit earlier. When I was a teenager, I started getting into knives really heavy, and CRKT was just kind of forming. And so some of those original makers that were like on their roster, like Kit Carson, Ed Halligan, that definitely affected the way that I viewed knives. And I guess like going through books, I don't know if there's specific makers. It was more just like an environment, right? Like I would read through old blade magazines, and it's just, there's so much. The beauty of the knife industry is that there's really no glass ceiling. So as a maker, you can never run out of like materials. There's always a new material, genres, eras, applications. Like it's kind of endless. And then when you start combining those, like it makes for a really interesting kind of workflow.
Yeah, it does. And the last question I've got for you, right?
Lay it on me.
Favorite handle material, favorite blade material.
Man, it's application driven, so I don't have favorites, right? In general, if we're talking pocket knives, I like a stainless blade steel for a pocket knife. Inside of there, in my customs, I use CPM 154. It's not like one of the new super steels. It's not like crazy hype or anything, but it's a really good functioning steel. I've worked with it for a long time, and I enjoy it. Man, there's so much. Fixed blades, it depends. Like, is it a skinning knife, or is it like a big camp chopper? Do you want it to be able to flex? Do you want it to just hold an edge forever, but it's going to be more brittle? So really, that's a loaded question.
It is.
It's like a 3-beer question.
So then, instead of that, we'll make this.
Okay.
Where do you see the next trend in the knife industry going? Is it folders? Is it bigger, smaller? more technology driven, where it comes in like Lion Steel has an RFID in it.
Oh, man.
Kinda like, are we seeing that trend?
Lion Steel's always pushing. Their stuff is just, they just move forward constantly. Whether it's like a pocket clip that like disappears, or I mean, it's super clean. I actually see it going in two directions. I think we're having a resurgence of really traditional knives, like what you would think of as like a granddad knife, slip joint. You know, I think those are having kind of a renaissance. We're seeing a lot of kind of interest in forged knives. So you know, kind of, I don't know if it's like driven by like forged in fire, but it's awareness, right? So, and we, like the idea of like people coming into the industry, a lot of times they'll come in with one specific thing. They like folders. They'll come to a show, they'll walk around, they'll see like a big forged Bowie, and it's done. They realize like that's the thing. So yeah, traditional knives, forged knives. One that I'm going to call out right now that I think is like on the rise, which maybe it's not even that new, is Bally Songs. What I love about Bally Songs is that they're interactive. Best part about the knife community is that last word. It's the community. And so if you have a knife that creates interaction, it automatically creates like community. I love it. So that's my next project.
That's awesome. Well, we look forward to seeing all your future projects. We really appreciate you taking the time to kind of talk to us. We did have lunch with him. Great guy. Go check him out. Where can they check you out?
All right, so you can find me on Instagram at Burnley Knives or at Burnley Brand. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me at burnleyknives.com, burnleybrand.com, or just look up my name.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Perfect.